Well, I'm really happy to share today's episode with you, mostly because it came together through total serendipity. My friend Jenny Ullum, who's the Senior Director of Communications at King Estate Winery in Eugene, Oregon, made this all come together. We were in Eugene last weekend to attend the USA Track and Field National Championships, and when in Eugene, we always stay with Jenny and her husband, Tim Gleason. They always host us. Jenny and I go way back. We were editors together in the 1980s at the long ago shuttered Seattle Woman magazine, and we've remained close friends ever since. Before I went to Eugene, I had reached out to two Eugene area Slow Flowers members trying to line up an interview for this week, while also trying to get away to spend time with friends. But sadly, due to travel and other conflicts, both of the farmer florists I approached weren't available. Jenny overheard me discussing my dilemma, and she said, "You should come out to the winery and meet our culinary garden manager, Erin Greene. She has been growing lots of flowers and designing bouquets for the restaurant and tasting room." So we arranged a last-minute outing on Sunday morning, and I'm so grateful for the experience. It was employee blueberry picking day. So while my husband Bruce joined Jenny and Tim to pick something like 8 pounds of blueberries, I joined Erin to tour King Estate's cutting garden, apple orchard, and greenhouse production areas. I learned so much, and you'll enjoy this conversation too. Here's a little bit more about Erin Greene. She's the Culinary Gardens Manager, and she joined King Estate in 2018. Working closely with the culinary team, Erin is responsible for all annual vegetable, herb, and edible flower production for use in the restaurant there. After earning a degree in Biodynamic Agriculture from Emerson College in the UK, Erin operated her own farm, Nourish Gardens, in eastern Washington for 4 years and spent 2 years working for a 500-acre organic farm in California that served the finest farm-to-table restaurants in the Bay Area. A native of Washington State, Erin is thrilled to be back in the Pacific Northwest at King Estates Winery. "I love everything food related from seed to plate," she says. When she's not at work, Erin can be found cooking in her kitchen, working in her home garden, or out in the wilderness, camping, fishing, hiking, and exploring Oregon with her husband and her pup, Bertie, the farm dog. Let's jump right in and get started. I'll share our sponsor thank yous at the end. Hi, Erin. Thanks for inviting me to visit your cutting garden here at King Estates Vineyard. Is it vineyard or winery?
Winery.
Okay.
Yeah.
But why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what we're going to look at?
So my name is Erin Greene. I am the Culinary Gardens Manager here at King Estate Winery. I manage anything that has a producible, harvestable crop that's not a grape. Kind of falls under my management scope. So that's 30 acres in total. All biodynamic and organic certified crops. We do vegetables, edible flowers, herbs, 14 acres of orchard fruits, 3 acres of berries, and then this is just over a 1/4 acre of cut flowers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
this is the cutting garden. I'm also responsible for all the floral design.
Yes, I saw some on your Instagram feed.
Yeah,
Let's go into the sun and get a little brighter here. Erin, you said biodynamic certified, biodynamic organic certified?
We're certified organic through Oregon Tilth, and we're certified biodynamic through Demeter USA.
Okay, and describe how do you define biodynamic?
Oh yeah, biodynamics it's kind of like the original organic. So it was the first form of agriculture. It came out of kind of World War I, Rudolf Steiner. You know, a lot of farmers in Europe were thinking like something's changing, and that was with the first addition of chemical fertilizers, herbicides, and that.
This is your companion.
This is Bertie, our farm dog. She's our ruthless bull hunter.
She's going to keep an eye on things.
Yeah. So biodynamics is really like super organic. So
Okay.
the biodynamic ideal is really it focuses more on a full farm system, or looking at your farm as a living kind of organism unto itself. So the difference between certified organic and certified biodynamic really is the addition of preparations, which are kind of like homeopathic remedies for the soil, and also limited inputs. So we can't buy, I think we can buy up to 30% of our inputs can come from off-site, but we're responsible for making all of our own fertility within the farm system.
When I watched the video of you harvesting radishes, you referred to our on-site produced compost. So that's an example.
Yep. So all the waste from the winemaking in the fall, all the pumice, the seeds and stems and skins, goes into our compost. And I mean, they make, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think it's something like 240 tons, 1,000 tons.
That's crazy.
I don't know. Yeah, don't quote me on that one.
We'll verify.
Yeah.
So your background is you studied in Europe how to do biodynamic farming.
Yeah. So in high school, I grew up on an agricultural kind of island. I worked on farms, beautiful women farmers. My mother, one of them. And so I traveled working on farms for a while, and then decided that I really wanted to make a real go of it. And I enrolled in the Biodynamic Agriculture training course at Emerson College in the UK, Southeast Sussex.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it a multi-year program?
It was a 2-year program. It was an intensive, so you would do, from like 7 a.m. till lunch in the classroom, doing sciences, business training, crop planning, all kinds of books kind of stuff. And then in the afternoons we went and worked on different farms all throughout the region. So we did dairy, meat processing, cereals, fruit, poultry. We did a little bit of everything. So we would do that for 6 months, and then we went and did an on-farm internship for 6 months. We did that twice.
And where was your on-farm internship?
Lopez Island.
Oh, so you came back to the U.S.
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was interested in creating, tapping into that community on the West Coast specifically, of whoever was doing biodynamics and connecting with them.
Well, I have so much more to ask, but I thought we should just look at the flowers for a minute and walk around. How do you have this organized? Just long rows with not just single crops, right?
Yeah, it's we kind of get everything in whenever we can, right? And the spring is kind of a mad dash. So I kind of rotate through, but in the front here is all perennials. And then we kind of graduate to other stuff. This bed is actually our biodynamic prep bed. So we've got nettles, valerian, and then yarrow, and those are the herbs that they use in biodynamic preparations. It's kind of like a demonstration garden.
So these plants are useful for processing some of your amendments and your inputs and fertilizers and amendments and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and then the rest is all pretty much cuttings. We've got some salvia here. These beautiful, I love this Dondo Blue. This is a really fun annual. We start cutting it now, nice long stems.
Agrostemma?
I don't know what the name, it's like
what do you call
Dondo.
It? Okay.
Dondo Blue, something like that.
Oh, here's the tag.
Yeah. Dondo Blue.
You said this is only your second year growing cut flowers. You're doing a wonderful job.
It's a really challenging growing environment, actually. Our soil is such heavy clay.
Okay.
The
whole vineyard is clay?
Oh, yeah. And the grapes love it, and everything else is pretty hard to get going.
Wow.
So these beds we lifted with a broad fork. We added 4 inches of King Estate compost twice, and then worked it into the soil. So that helps give us a little bit of air in here, but it's really heavy. And then we have a lot of pests too. We have big gophers, voles. Those kinds of things are always creeping in and kind of munching.
When the broad fork lifting is also a biodynamic no-till kind of treatment.
Yeah. And we really have found it's nice to use some tillage to lighten things up and to also knock down the pests, the voles and things. That's kind of my only shot to really get them out of
destroy
the bed.
their tunnels and stuff. Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
So then after we've done that once or twice, then we pretty much just use the broad fork, and we do a pretty thick compost on top in the winter, let that set over winter, and then we can plant right in the spring.
This looks like you have a Rudbeckia here.
Yes, beautiful. This one's new to me this year. Prairie Sun, I think is the name. Yeah, Prairie Sun.
And then your dahlias are looking great.
Yeah, they came on really early this year. They read out the thing. The gophers eat the tubers, so we put them in these black
interesting.
RPCs.
Okay.
Yeah, so then we lift them in the winter. Once they've had a really hard killing frost, we'll lift them and put them in the greenhouse for the winter.
How deep are those boxes?
Not very deep. They're just about 6 inches, 6 to 8.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Some nice echinacea. These were really small last year. This year they came up just real nice.
Well, having the perennials gives you a start at the season too.
Yeah. And then I have some stuff that we start in our prop house in the greenhouse that some things just I didn't bring out, so then I'll just cut from the tables.
Oh.
Lilies, another one that the gophers love to eat the bulbs.
So keep it in the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Can we peek in there?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Great.
These ones are fun too. These are like 3 times as tall as they were last year. This is that balloon flower.
Yep.
And really fun in a vase. I like these ones are really growing on me.
Drumstick allium.
So fun. Those were a gift from the owners. They were clearing the bed.
They're whimsical and they can be used now or when they're dry, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, look at these little teddy bears.
Oh, sweet.
So
Those are perfect size for the vase.
Yeah.
They won't get much taller, right?
Nope, I don't think so. I snipped the centers on some, so those might get a little taller, but.
What are these orchard trees? Are these hazelnuts?
These are apples. So from
they are
here
apples.
down, we have 3 blocks. This one's Brayburn, the next is Gala, and then the next after that is Bartlett pears. And then there's some Shinko Asian pears kind of scattered throughout.
And all this edible orchard fruit is used by the restaurant here, or?
Yeah, the restaurant uses as much as they want, and then everything that's left over, they did a couple rounds of cider with the orchard fruits.
Wonderful.
We're not really doing that anymore, so anything that's left over goes to the food bank.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. And that's apples, pears, plums too. We have some Maribel plums, a really rare, super small plum that's used for brandy. Really sweet, like almost inedibly sweet.
Wow.
Just a little sugar bomb. And
So
those
perfect
ones,
for distilling with brandy.
Yeah, those ones we sell to the distillers. So we have some
here's your lavender.
Some lavender for cutting, and then we're working on a herbes de Provence garden. We have a low tunnel that's full of herbs, but we always kind of tax it out, so it'll be nice to have a little indoor outdoor edible flowers. The sage, the restaurant uses lots of edible flowers. There's some larkspur over there, the white and the Earl Grey.
Yep.
Hollyhock. These blueberries are kind of our offering to the birds. Like we just leave these ones be, and I use them as green blueberries in the floral design.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that. Are you able to cut these for floral design? Because this is a valuable design element.
Yeah, I love them, and there's so many of these stalks here. You know, like a really healthy new stalk with this beautiful green and those ombre fades with the purple. I love using them.
Yeah, I mean you can't get enough of this. Do you have florists who want to come purchase these from you?
No, I haven't asked. It's only my 2nd year, and really it was just like the first year was a learning year. The 2nd year we're kind of hitting our stride. I was kind of planning on putting these into more perennials, woody shrubs like the 9-bark. I love using that.
Getting your foliages.
Yeah, and then there's some soldago that's just lovely. It's one of my favorites. And then we've got a bunch of nicotina. Beautiful foxgloves from Uprising. Do you know Uprising seeds?
Yes. Are they here in the...
They're north of Seattle. They're in Mount Vernon.
Oh, okay, great.
Wonderful company. They have some really special flowers.
So are you working here with these posts that were in place already from earlier?
I'm not sure what these were put in here.
Maybe for espaliering something?
Yeah, there's some more. Ooh. This is fun. This is a nicotina. It's called Pink Screamer.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that. Isn't that lovely? I've had kind of a hard time with the
This
nicotina.
is the flowering tobacco, right? Pink Screamer. I know the one that's down here, this greener one.
Yeah, and they're so fun because you can cut them and they just come back again and again. And look at this. This is new for me this year. Oh my goodness.
And you do this all by yourself, Erin?
I do. So I have 1 year-round full-time employee, and then I have a seasonal full-time employee that helps, and they pretty much focus on the vegetable production.
Okay.
And then we have 2 seasonal full-time women that have been working in the berries for 14 years. So they manage the berry harvest. So leading up from May until just about now, they're helping us do bed prep, big plantings in the vegetables and in the flower garden. And then they pretty much shift to full-time berry harvest through August. And then I'm just cutting.
But this is kind of ready for you to cut then.
Yeah. Oh, this is that basket flower. It looks like a giant bachelor button.
Right. And then I saw you brought me over here to see the. Is this like one of the Sahara series?
I'm forgetting. I should have looked at my variety.
No, there you go.
It's a rudbeckia. Autumn sunset.
Autumn sunset.
Ooh, fun.
Very fun.
Anything that looks this good, its first year in this soil is a great soil. It's a harsh growing environment.
Yeah.
And
I
we just
love
have
it.
one drip line going down the middle of each of these beds. Oh, this is fun too.
Do you have to supplement at all?
Yeah, we use a down-to-earth organic fertilizer at the time of planting, and that's it. Oh, that's fun. Frosted Explosion.
Frosted Explosion,
yeah,
right.
From Johnny's. I thought these would get a little bigger.
Maybe they will.
Yeah, this one's got some height. Oh, but that'll be really fun in a bud vase.
Yes.
Just on its own.
I love it.
Look at that. It looks like a firework, doesn't it?
It's gorgeous.
Oh, fun.
I love what you've done here, and I can't believe that you've done this all in 2 years. You've got roses.
Yeah, and
some peonies over here.
Oh, the peonies were stunning this year. I really love the peonies.
Well, let's go look at the greenhouse, okay?
Okay.
So, Erin, describe where we are.
Yeah, this is our west side of our central greenhouse. So this is a climate-controlled grow space. So we've got this small cooler, and then we have some propane heaters. We minimally heat in the winter just to keep the frost off. This is where we start all of our starts. Here's our next round of flowers. So we've got our summer zinnias, 3 different kinds of sunflowers, some Cecilia, which I love, some echinacea. Oh, there's more of that hibiscus. And then these are the lilies that never made it outside.
You just grew them in pots.
Yeah, and thankful. I can't believe they got this tall in this little pot. They smell
So you're cutting these for arrangements for inside the winery?
Yeah. So I'll cut these now, probably put them in the cooler, and then I'll use them in designs next week.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you said that you started, when did you start here as the propagation vegetable grower?
Yeah, as the vegetable grower for the restaurant, the Culinary Gardens Manager, and then, last year I expanded into the floral design as well. Yeah.
And are the needs really just to make the experience for the guest, to see something that's been grown here, and you're not selling them per se?
We don't sell any of our flowers, at least not yet. Yeah, it's really just part of, following that biodynamic ideal, really a closed farm loop, the system, we try to grow everything we need for the restaurant on site. And we have all this incredible facility that's left over from the grape crafting programs in the 90s. So yeah, the floral design is such a sweet, I didn't really realize, I had my first farm job was in vegetables, but when I was 8 years old, I started a cut flower garden in my mom's garden, and I sold to the local florist.
And you said that you were doing this on Vashon Island.
Yeah, and I had forgotten it was the florist at the Vashon Thriftway, and that whole summer I sold buckets of cut flowers, and I had forgotten this.
As an 8-year-old?
Yes, as an 8-year-old. I was an entrepreneur from the start.
I love it.
And it wasn't until I started doing floral design here that I realized it satisfied this whole creative part of me that I think was kind of hibernating while I was focusing on vegetable farming. When you're farming vegetables, especially specialty like high-end culinary vegetables, you're harvesting and then you're passing that off to someone else to create that final product that someone gets to enjoy. With the floral, in January I'm designing all my crop plans and calendars, and I'm imagining what kinds of bouquets I can make throughout the seasons, and then I get to actually create the final product
with what you've grown.
Yeah, and deliver this really this finished product to the public sphere. It feels really good. It's satisfying a whole side of me that I don't think I recognized for a while.
I love it. Your 8-year-old self would be very proud of you.
Yes, last summer I did something in a white vase, and it was with the blue Dondo and a Diablo Cosmo and some hot pink flower, and I was like, these were my favorite colors as a child. It was so satisfying. It's really fun.
I love it.
Yeah, it's great. There's something very special about flowers, and when I was focused on vegetables, I never really, I was like, oh yeah, for the bees.
Right.
But there's something so fun and satisfying about really making a connection with a flower and experiencing that beauty every day. My drive out here from Eugene, it's about half an hour, and I really have to keep it on the road and try and focus because I'm so transfixed by all the beauty around me, and that's really where I get my inspiration for the floral design, is in the natives and in all the plants that are growing around us. Right now in the mornings, the grasses are golden, luminous gold, and there's these whole hillsides of sweet peas and the
wild sweet peas.
Yeah, wild sweet peas, and then the cow parsnips growing along those perimeters. It's so inspiring. It's just so beautiful. And then on my drive home, I see it in the evening light.
in the golden hour.
Yeah, it's lovely. And so I'm constantly trying to draw inspiration from those areas and also cut from the wild spaces, the landscape in King Estate, and then also the kind of like, there's wildflowers in the perimeters. We have some oak forests that are just beautiful.
Well, you were saying that you can cut, in addition to the blueberries, the fruiting branches, you've got the asparagus and what else was the other thing?
Asparagus, artichoke, we do some tomatoes, you know, like the little currant green tomatoes. Lots of roses from the landscape. You know, we have guest houses and things where I go and pick when there's people not around.
I love it.
Much to the landscaper's chagrin, I'm sure.
I'm excited to show some photos of your work, so we'll add that to this story.
Oh, great.
Erin, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So what do we have here?
So this is field pea shoots for the restaurant, and then we've got amaranth, green mustard, migunas, and then I think some baby topside, some baby chard.
Oh, you've got some succession planning back there.
Yeah. And these are, we just cut these at, you know, about 4 inches tall. So pretty. They're such a sweet little, it's really nice as a garnish.
Yes. Oh, wonderful.
On top of our salads and things.
So you're gonna get some water in?
Yeah, I need to water. And this one, what a beautiful garnish.
Yeah.
The baby nasturtium, and then we also put the flowers on top.
So this is really for the chefs.
Yeah. So good.
I love it. Very fun.
Yeah, and then this is more of our vegetable space.
Oh, Erin, this is crazy.
So this is where we grow a lot of the edible flowers. Cucumbers do excellent in here. We do these little mini Persian snackers.
Oh, right.
And they grow up. We start picking, and we'll keep picking these. The plants come all the way up to the top cable, and then they'll come back down the other side, and we'll be picking, you know, June through September.
And you've got them in these grow bags, and that's all they need.
Yeah, and we do a little bit of organic fertilizer, you know, throughout the growing season to keep the nutrients pumping to the tip, but not much, you know.
Jeez,
Isn't
wonderful.
that fun?
Yep.
This is a Armenian. I don't know if these ones are going to work in here. These are a specialty heritage cucumber, more closely related to a melon.
Yeah, it looks like a squash almost.
Yeah. And then lots of herbs. All of our baby creams we grow in here, just because it's a more tender environment. Oh, this is one of my absolute favorites. One chef came and asked me to grow this. It's the Mexican mint marigold. Look at that.
Wow.
Isn't that tender?
Would you consider using it in an arrangement as
I
well
do.
as, but the chefs
Yeah.
want it for garnishes?
Yeah,
or?
so it's a tarragon. It's called Mexican mint marigold, but it's a tarragon flavor. Really nice, kind of more beefy leaf than the French tarragon, but still really tender. So you get a lot of flavor packed in. So they use these on top of desserts and things, or salads. But it's got this look in a vase, and it holds for ages.
We were talking recently about the flavor profile of flowers. Like there's a nutritional quality to them.
My favorite edible flower is the scarlet runner bee.
Okay, show me that.
Oh, these are fun too. The marigold gem. We use these both for edibles and for floral design.
And
this one's tangerine.
And you're not cutting until the day it's needed, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so fragrant.
Yeah, it smells like tangerine. There's also a lemon yellow. It's so delicious.
Yeah.
Really. These ones, I was giving a tour from these restaurateurs from Florida, and they were saying that scarlet runner beans were their favorite edible flower. And it is so delicious. You get the nectar hit, the sweet sugary nectar hit, and then like a light bean.
It's crunchy. Yeah, it's like eating a snap pea.
And they hold beautifully off the plate.
I love it.
All of that, they have really good structure. You know, like nasturtiums and things, you can't touch the blossom. These ones, they're just like so hardy and still tender, melt in your mouth, beautiful flavor.
So how are they being used? Just in like salads? And...
Yeah, garnish on top of salads and maybe on cheese plates and things like that.
Ooh, wonderful.
I know, I hope people actually eat them.
Oh, I hope they do too. The crunch is amazing.
Really fun. We harvest these as mini micros for the restaurant, and then once they come out, we use them in floral design.
Right. Beautiful texture for arrangement.
So fun. And they hold really well. If you pick them early, they're not like dropping all over the table.
I just love this method of these grow bags.
Yeah, it works. This is such a funny system. You know, the nursery tables, they roll. And we didn't really know how else to grow in here. What would we build beds on these tables or take out the floor completely? Or
You wanted to work with what you had.
yeah. And these work. And I thought that they wouldn't last very long, but these were here before I got here.
Okay.
These are on their 6th year and they're still really strong. We pressure wash them in the winter.
But they're kind of made of a felted material.
Yeah, it's a poly fabric. Oh, this is more of that hibiscus.
Oh, right. So you're growing it in here and out in the field.
Yeah.
It's much bigger here.
Yes, it is. It's so gentle in here.
Yeah. And then the amaranth behind it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure these were just a volunteer.
Oh, they all match.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Oh, and this one's so cool. We try to keep everything in here edible because there's always chefs or public coming through.
Yeah.
But this is that anistis hot. It's like a chocolate mint. Delicious. Big purple spire, you know, flower.
It's a dual purpose plant, right?
Yep. Anytime we can get a 2 for 1, we're happy. And then here's our first planting of the Scarlet Runner.
And you have them trellised on what?
These are actually just tomato cages turned upside down.
Oh, wow.
I love doing that for peas and beans.
Yep.
It's the
So
only,
smart.
Yeah, the only use I've really found for tomato cages is and then the rest go up to those cages.
Oh, right. Just like the cucumbers.
Yep.
Fun.
And they'll just keep going. I love legumes and beans, but this is the fava bean bloom.
Oh, wow.
Again, really beautiful texture, holds well on a plate, holds great in a vase as well.
So
Smells
if
like
you
a sweet pea.
if you cut it for the vase, you're not getting the bean off of that particular flower. So you have to be careful about the choices
really,
you made.
In the spring, we'll grow fava beans for beans in the spring, but then the rest of the time we just grow them for the shoots. These leaves are really good in a salad.
Oh, wow.
For the flowers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, really fun.
This
and
is-
they smell so good.
This tour is inspiring me to encourage more cut flower farmers to find edibles that can be edible flowers or ornamental in the vase.
Yeah. And so much fun too to have an edible floral arrangement.
Absolutely.
Especially as bud vases on the table,
Yeah.
dinner parties, if there's in the arrangement and also on the plate.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Love it.
Yeah, so we've partnered with the Oregon Bee Project through OSU. They're coming out, every couple of weeks and they're mapping all of our native bees on site. So yeah, we've partnered with other wineries that, have an eye towards the broader ecosphere and support pollinator habitat. So we're having a big party here on National Honeybee Day. We also have honeybees on site.
Which is in August, right?
Yeah, it's August 19th. We're partnering with Glory Bee and Save the Bee Project to have a fundraiser party.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
We'll share all that information in the tour.
Thanks. Yeah. I love that. That's really been such a joy this
Yeah,
year.
and all the native plants on the site are helping with the with the native bees.
Yeah, and our honeybees are so healthy. When you look at the comb, each cell is a completely different color, 100% clear. Just beautiful because they have so much food, and then we have all of the wilds. So really between the cut flower garden and the edge of the property, it's wilderness all the way to the coast.
So
It's
all
the
that
coast range.
forage. Wow.
All that forest.
Exciting. We kind of wrapped up really quickly after that, but I wanted to share a fun video that the social media team at King Estates produced with Erin harvesting flowers and making her bouquet. Hang on a sec. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today. What a fun tour. And we fact checked the scale of King Estates on-site composting program. 800 tons of organic compost is produced at the winery each year. You can watch the replay video for episode 619 in our show notes next week at slowflowerspodcast.com and find additional resources about King Estates and the August 19th Bee Friendly Wine Tour taking place there as part of the Oregon Bee Project. August 19th is actually National Honeybee Day, and the event is free and open to the public from noon to 3 p.m. You'll learn all about the native bees of Oregon and how they support biodiversity on farms, vineyards, orchards, and residential backyards, and what are their favorite flowers for their nectar sources. I want to thank our sponsors right now. They bring this show to you. This show is brought to you by slowflowers.com, the free online directory to more than 850 florist shops and studios who design with local, seasonal, and sustainable flowers, and to the farms that grow those blooms. It's the conscious choice for buying and sending flowers. And thank you to our lead sponsor, Farm Girl Flowers. Farm Girl Flowers delivers iconic burlap wrap bouquets and lush, abundant arrangements to customers across the U.S., supporting U.S. flower farms by purchasing more than $10 million of U.S.-grown, fresh and seasonal flowers and foliage annually. Discover more at farmgirlflowers.com. Thank you to Johnny's Selected Seeds, an employee-owned company that provides our industry with the best flower, herb, and vegetable seeds supplied to farms large and small, and even to backyard cutting gardens like mine. Find the full catalog of flower seeds and bulbs at johnnysseeds.com. Thank you to Mayesh Wholesale Florist. Family owned since 1978, Mayesh is the premier wedding and event supplier in the U.S., and we're thrilled to partner with Mayesh to promote local and domestic flowers, which they source from farms large and small around the U.S. Learn more at mayesh.com. And thank you to the Gardener's Workshop, which offers a full curriculum of online education for flower farmers and farmer florists. Online education is more important than ever, and you'll want to check out the course offerings at thegardenersworkshop.com. Wow, I love all this floral goodness, and I'm so happy you joined me today. The Slow Flower Show is a member-supported endeavor, and I value our loyal members and supporters. If you're new to our weekly show or our long-running podcast, check out all of our resources at slowflowersociety.com. I'm Deborah Prinzing, host and producer of The Slow Flowers Show and the Slow Flowers Podcast. Next week, you're invited to join me in putting more slow flowers on the table, one stem, one vase at a time. The content and opinions expressed here are either mine alone or those of my guests alone, independent of any podcast sponsor or other person, company, or organization. Thanks so much for joining us today, and I'll see